Assalamu alaikum guys, today I'm going to be doing a continuation of my previous video, the useful things to know when you're first moving to Jordan, or just generally useful things to know about life in Jordan. I put this question out to people of Instagram. You can find my Instagram up there, and I got some really good feedback, so I'll be including those things in there as well. The first thing that I feel like is the most important thing, and I probably should have put it in the first video, was water out of just like general water out of the taps isn't safe for consumption. So there are people that do drink it straight out the tap unfiltered, but I would strongly recommend against it. If you know anything about Jordan or the region, I'm going to give you a little lesson in geopolitics now. Jordan is really limited with its water. Okay, and I've spoken about this a few times. It's a really big deal. It's a big part of people's life is dealing with the water crisis. I'm going to give you a little lesson in geopolitics of the region. Don't want to bore you, but it's important to know when you're coming here. Jordan is largely landlocked. It's got the Red Sea at the bottom down in Aqaba, but the rest of the place is completely landlocked, and the main source of water has historically been the Jordan River, hence the name Jordan River. But due to the Wadi Araba peace treaty with Israel, that we were meant to share the water between the two countries, and that doesn't happen. I'm not going to go into that, but it sucks. we don't have enough water here, so all the water is recycled in some way. It is treated in some way to make it go further, and of course we collect rain from the rainfalls as well. But I'm not going to go into what the water situation is, but generally be careful about drinking the water. So the first thing that you have to do when you are opening a house in Jordan, if you are renting an unfurnished house or buying an unfurnished house, is you need to buy a water filter system of some kind. Now there are many different ways that you can do this. You can buy a bottle of water with a little like lever on top and just pump your water straight out of like a Nestle bottle. That's like the very lower end, that's an emergency kind of situation. Then you've also got different kinds of water filters, which I will show you over here. I'll show you ours, and that hooks up to the main water, and then it filters the water inside that little thing, and then you go to that to get your drinking water, and it also will heat water as well. Hey guys, I'm editing this and I realised that I didn't make it perfectly clear. You can buy water bottles separately. Obviously it's the first picture is a separate water bottle, and then the other systems you hook it up to your main water system. The only downside about that is that if you want to be washing your fruit and veg and anything like that in clean water, in filtered water, that makes it really difficult. So what people also do is they put a filter inside their sink, so maybe their tap is filtered water, or there's a little side tap with filtered water, but it doesn't kind of rush out. It's not like a large quantity of water, and it takes a while to fill up and things. So downside to that. There's also upper end of things is that you can get a water filter that's attached to your tank, your main tank, and then that means that all the water in the house is purified and filtered and everything. So that's just the range of different things that you can get, from very, very cheap to more expensive. The second thing was, many people said this, to mention eFawateer. This is an online service for paying all your bills. You can pay for everything. You can pay for your top up, your credit for your phone. You can pay for your water bills. And it's all run, it's all supervised by the Central Bank of Jordan. So it's all totally legitimate. Traditionally, historically speaking, people, because there isn't a postal system and things, it's a different system here. So people would actually go to like the water company, or go to Zain or wherever it is, to buy or pay for their bills or whatever it is. And I mean, people, that's still very much the system here. But eFawateer is making all of this online, so you can just do it from an app from your phone. We personally don't use eFawateer. We tried to get it started last year and we had some problems, so we didn't use it. I know that most people now do. If you want me to do a video on how to set up eFawateer and how it works, then let me know in the comments below, and I will do that, because it would be really handy for us too if we could do everything online. This brings me to another point about money and paying for things. Most places, like small shops, you know, the grocery store, or like small places, they don't accept credit cards, debit cards, any cards. They don't have QDP machines. So you need to carry cash on you, which is really odd coming from England, where they're talking about making England like cashless very soon, like, you know, in the next few years. And here everything is run with cash, and cash really means something, you know, coins actually have worth here. But the problem is that there aren't, if you live in a more residential area, especially a rural area, ATMs or cash machines are hard to come by. So personally, I have to get in the car and drive 10-15 minutes to get to my nearest ATM that isn't going to charge me. That's another thing. If you do have an ATM in your local shop, they're more likely to charge you a couple of dinars, which is quite a lot, like considering the, you know, the average salary here. If it's not an ATM for your bank, then it is, I think it will charge you, or it's more likely to charge you. Then you have to go, if you don't want to pay that money, you have to go further afield to find your own bank and then withdraw your money that way. Something that is kind of handy is that there are drive-through. Is he sleeping? Oh, I woke you up. Something useful to note is that there are drive-through ATMs at petrol stations, which is really cool. It's a new thing, I really like that. And also be aware that if you order something online, I don't think anyone uses portable QDP machines yet. So you're going to have cash for anything that you order online. Final point on the money issue is that cashback doesn't exist either. So that's something that really drives me crazy. I'm just going to let him fall asleep for a minute so he doesn't cry when I actually put him down. Number 4 is that you can't find a crock pot or slow cooker in Jordan, generally, as a general rule. This is something that comes up all the time on expat groups, is people looking for a crock pot. They turn up occasionally in Smart Buy or in Carrefour, tend to be expensive. Sometimes they're labelled as a rice cooker, but people are always looking for these, and when they're put up on an expat group, they sell immediately. So if you're umming and ahhing about whether or not you should bring your crock pot, bring it with you. Similarly, electronics are really expensive in Jordan, so if you are moving here, bring your electronics. Don't think about buying them when you get here. I mentioned in my last video about this that there isn't an address system in Jordan. Same goes for a postal system. Postal system just doesn't work in the same way that it does in Western countries that I know of. And ordering from online shops like Amazon or somewhere like that, it's complicated. Some people use services, ship and send services, where you get it sent to a PO box in like America, and then they bring it over through a courier system or something. I don't quite understand how it works. Link here somewhere if you're interested in that. Also, it's useful to know that the government has just increased its fees for electronic goods, importing electronic goods into the country. That means your own personal items that are sent to you, you still have to pay the same tax on them. Last year, somebody sent me an electronic item by post, and it was a nightmare to pick it up, and we ended up paying basically almost the same amount as they originally paid for it. We had to pay on taxes and like import fee thing. So like, just don't get anyone to send you electronics. It's just a nightmare. Also, I've not actually successfully received one item to my PO box, not even a letter. Letters don't even get to me, and I've had 2 PO boxes now. I have just had the worst luck with the postal system. If I were you, I would steer clear of it, but maybe I've just had terrible luck with it. Final thing is about driving licenses. There is a lot of varied information out there. Everyone has told me a different story about how they got their Jordanian license, but you can go down to the DMV in Marka, which is outside of Amman, and you can get your foreign driving license transferred into a Jordanian driving license for around 200 dinars. Everyone tells me a different price for this. If you are local and you know for sure, then please tell us in the comments, because that is really useful information. You can retake your test completely to get a brand new Jordanian driving license, and you do that, I think, at the 7th Circle, the Royal Automobile Club. And from what I've heard, is a little bit cheaper, but it is a lot more work. Final important note is that your international driving license that your country may have issued you before you came to Jordan, it's not legitimate in Jordan. It's not legal, and your foreign driving license is not legal in Jordan. The only driving license that is legal in Jordan, unless you are renting a car, is your Jordanian driving license. Many foreigners are under the impression that they can drive under any license here, and it's not true. I was in a car with a woman, and she was driving on her foreign driving license, and I said to her, "Oh, you know that that's not actually legal." She told me, no, it's legal. My husband checked, it's all perfectly legal. And I said to her, okay, but if you get pulled over, you're gonna find out that it's not legal. And tempting fate, literally the next circle that we got to, circle means roundabout, the next circle that we got to, she gets pulled over. And the guy asks to see her details. She hands over all of her insurance cards and everything, and her residency and her foreign driving license. The guy looks at it, he looks at her, he looks at me, he looks at the 2 kids in the back, and he says, all right, go ahead. Of course, she, like many other foreigners, deny that there is a law or turn a blind eye to the fact that there is a law, and typically they get away with it. But maybe you just want to get your driving license. So go down to the DMV in Marker or go to 7th Circle at the Royal Automobile Club. As always, I will put all of this information in the description below, and I will welcome anything that you have to say in the comments. If there's any misinformation, let's clear it up, or if you've got anything else that you want to add to this or clarify further, then tell me in the comments. If this video was in some way useful for you, then let me know so I know to continue doing this kind of video. And of course, please like and subscribe as usual. Okay, little boy's got to go to bed. Bye guys, ma salama.